Alex Honnold, a 31-year-old American climber, is obsessed with free solo climbing, which means climbing alone and without protection. He has conquered numerous peaks. Climbing is his entire life, so he has never had serious relationships. Currently, Alex's dream is to conquer El Capitan's wall in Yosemite National Park, which has a difficulty level of 7+. The route on El Capitan is called Free Rider, created by Alexander Huber in 1998, and no climber has ever achieved a free climb at this level of difficulty. Alex lives in a van and trains extensively. He dropped out of school at the age of 19 and has been involved in climbing ever since. He recently met a girl named Sanni who supports him, but he is not yet ready for a serious relationship. Alex has climbed El Capitan with protective gear about 40 times. To cover all the bases, Alex meticulously studies the rock and records every step in his journal. He must explore all the most difficult sections and try to overcome them. Only then will he be able to climb the 975-meter peak. His friend, Tom Caldwell, an experienced climber, comes to help Alex, but he would never attempt to climb a mountain without protection. As he begins the ascent, cameraman Jimmy Chin films during the climb. Alex tries to imagine what it would be like to climb those sections without a rope. For now, just the thought makes him tremble. Alex is generally a reserved person and does not usually share his projects with others. Although he agreed to be filmed, the cameras and the filming team distract him from his concentration. In his childhood, Alex was a shy and withdrawn boy. He was never a popular kid, and climbing was his only passion. Due to his introversion, he always climbed alone. Alex himself still doesn't understand why he became this way. He makes a living as a successful dentist, which allows him to establish a foundation that helps improve the lives of people in poor countries. Alex invites Sanni to visit him. She is very sweet, cheerful, and also passionate about climbing. Sanni loves the adrenaline, eccentricity, and the overall life of her friend. Together, they start climbing in protective gear. However, Sanni makes a mistake in securing the rope, and Alex falls from a low height, injuring his back. Alex is treated for a compression fracture, and Sanni promises to be more careful and fully support him. A few months later, Alex travels to Morocco to practice free climbing on the local cliffs. The entire film crew, consisting of experienced climbers, accompanies Alex. The guys film Alex's free solo climbing in Morocco. Despite the dangers, Alex does well. However, his friends try to convince him to reconsider climbing El Capitan. They are not as passionate about such extreme things, especially as they age. Everyone is so worried about Alex that he decides to get an MRI. This way, he will discover why his self-preservation instinct is not working and how his brain responds to fear during climbing in free solo. The doctor explains that the amygdala in Alex's brain is not functioning correctly. These are responsible for forming emotions and are activated by Alex only during very intense feelings. In the fall, Alex returns to Yosemite and begins to climb El Capitan with Sanni, using safety equipment. There are sections of the rock where he must stand on small footholds. In such cases, Alex cannot hold on. He falls 10 meters while climbing Free Blast, the first section of Free Rider, and injures his ankle. The doctor advises him to stop training for a few days, but Alex cannot live without climbing. Sanni hopes that if they get married and have children, Alex will become more cautious. However, she does not realize that her boyfriend has no intention of changing his life. Alex's mother also hopes that her son will give up extreme activities, but she does not want to risk giving him advice. She realizes that Alex truly feels happy only while doing this and respects his choice. 3 weeks after the injury, Alex returns to El Capitan. His foot still hurts, but that doesn't stop him. If he doesn't prepare within a month, he will have to wait until next year to climb. His friends fear that rushing could be a fatal mistake. Between training sessions, Alex leads a normal life, but it seems that his family was not used to hugs. Alex had to learn this as an adult. His family never even said, "I love you." His mother tried to show love, but his father was very distant. Alex's parents always devalued his achievements and never supported him. Therefore, Alex always tries to achieve new goals to prove to his parents that he is capable of doing something. He always tries to achieve perfection. This scares his friends very much. He continues to train and identifies 6 critical points on the rock, where it will be most difficult to hold. At some point, Alex will feel intense pressure on his body. In another place, there will be no other point to grip. The most difficult section is as slippery as glass. He will have to cling to 2 vertical walls at a height of 750 meters. There is another option. Then he will have to jump, but then the likelihood of falling is considerable. So far, Alex has not been able to perform this trick even with protective gear. Sanni is very worried about Alex, who has become an essential part of her life. But Alex can't even tell Sanni that he loves her because he has never told anyone. Despite this, Sanni believes that their relationship has a future. Professional climber Peter Croft comes to support him. Peter has made an incredible number of free solo ascents but would never do it in front of a camera. Ultimately, Alex chooses the day of the ascent. He wants to start at 4 in the morning to avoid problems with the sun. In the evening, he jokes and creates a positive atmosphere, even though his foot still hurts. Only at the last moment does he confess to Sanni that he will attempt the free solo tomorrow. It is painful for Sanni to let her boyfriend go. The next morning, she wakes up a minute before the alarm goes off and heads to El Capitan in the dark. Alex begins the ascent at 150 meters. He feels uncomfortable and does not want to continue. He is ashamed of his weakness. Because of the cameras, he cannot concentrate and cannot overcome his fear. Alex returns to the van, and Sanni is happy that he changed his mind. Experienced climber Peter also believes that Alex made the right decision. All his friends agree. Only Alex is tormented by doubts and guilt. 3 months have passed. Alex and Sanni buy a house in Las Vegas. Sanni is excited and plans their future together. Alex, as usual, remains reserved about positive emotions and is dissatisfied with many things. He buys more household appliances, and they settle in. Alex appreciates his relationship with Sanni, but he cannot live peacefully without thinking about El Capitan. He understands that happiness and comfort are important for Sanni, but results are his priority. Next spring, Alex resumes training for El Capitan. He finds the place where he had finished the last session and discovers a new way to overcome that difficult section. The main cameraman, Jimmy, suggests stopping filming to make Alex's climbing more comfortable, but he has almost conquered his fears. Alex meticulously describes every move on the rock and memorizes them by heart because his life depends on it. He does a lot of physical exercises to feel confident in his body. He soon learns that his friend and climber Ollie had an accident while climbing. Alex receives the news calmly and without surprise. He is completely focused on his climb and plans to do it the next day. Sanni helps him pack, and they share an emotional goodbye. After bidding farewell, she walks away from the car in which Alex spends the night. From that moment, it is better for him to be alone so that no one disturbs him. After walking quite a distance, Sanni lets her emotions flow. The next morning, Alex heads for the mountains, carrying only a small chalk bag. He begins the ascent. The chalk helps him grip the rock better. He has nothing else with him, and the slightest mistake could cost him his life. During this time, the crew gets closer to Alex. They now film him with horror from the ground, worried about him. Alex passes the section at 145 meters without any problems. Last time, he changed his mind here, but now he continues. He slips slightly but manages to save himself at the last moment. Alex reaches another giant crack. He arrives at a difficult section where the rock crushes his body. Alex actually manages to get out of there, and now he hangs from a tremendous height on a steep slope. The cameraman can hardly watch him without trembling. Alex reaches a height of 625 meters and starts moving slower. It is one of the most dangerous sections, balancing on the tips of his fingers. Alex finds some footholds and finally advances. At any moment, he could slip at a height of 760 meters. Alex crosses the most exposed section. His friends below are afraid to breathe as they watch him smile and have fun. Alex reaches a height of 910 meters, pushes himself with all his strength, and finally climbs to the inaccessible summit of El Capitan Mountain. Finally, he has achieved what he has dreamed of for 8 years. Now everyone is relieved. Sanni jumps for joy and is incredibly happy that everything is going well for her boyfriend. She sighs in relief as she watches him on the phone. She is proud of Alex and realizes how important this ascent was for him. Finally, the boy reveals that he loves her. As he descends, Alex mentions in passing that the mountain was not as terrifying as he thought. Then, instead of taking a break, he starts a new training session.